about to start. Good evening, everyone. Welcome to another episode of No Conduct Radio. Tonight, we're actually answering your relationship questions, so the questions that we kind of teased last week. And we were actually going to continue talking about something BJ said in the last episode. However, BJ is sick with the flu, so we can't do that today. So we'll do that next week. Hopefully he's better by then. So tonight we're joined by Shar, Logic, and I. And I thought Logic wasn't coming because he's sick too. Poor Logic, poor BJ.
Oh. Wow.
I hope y'all get better soon.
Yeah, so do I.
So Shar, you got some news?
Yeah, I honestly, okay, we finally found a house, but I mean, you know how you get excited at first and then you realize, oh, I have to move everything? That is so annoying. And then you have to make calls to transfer utilities. And what if you totally forgot to space it out? That you owed money, you spaced it out like I do. How much do I owe for what? You know, for electricity, whatever. Because it's been 10 years I've been in the same place. And sure enough, I owed $457 to my power company.
Ow.
I don't know when it happened. I honestly don't know what I did when I left my last place. I moved smoothly. It wasn't like I was, like, you know, on the run or anything. So I don't know if I was just being irresponsible or overlooked it. But I am so over this moving thing already, and we haven't even got into the house. We got the key last night, though. But I'm just tired of the packing process and all that other stuff, you know. But I'm here hoping the radio show will just divert me away from this for about an hour and a half, so because it's driving me crazy, honestly. Crazy. But the good news is there's a pool, 4 bedrooms, and 3 baths, so it's going to be plenty of being overwhelmed with too much space, and, you know, enough for people to visit and enjoy themselves when they come from out of town, you know, visitors and friends. So I'm excited, I think.
You think you're excited?
Well, it's like I want to get past the process of doing the moving part, you know? So.
Yeah,
and then
I could dig it.
Yeah, this part sucks, though, seriously. There's newspapers everywhere. I'm just wrapping glass after glass after glass. And you guys know how much I drink wine and all kinds of other things. There's different glasses, different types of glasses. Oh, I even have wine.
Well, congratulations on the new house.
Thank you. I even have wine that has to be transferred to the new house in its own special little wine holder.
Yeah, sounds like an alcoholic to me.
Well, you know what? My friends have given me a collection, and I haven't drank them. Like, just friends over the years. So I just realized that I have, like, 9 bottles that I wasn't aware of that I don't even really pay attention to. I mean, I was aware of it, but obviously I kind of just wasn't paying attention. So, yeah. That way, when we get settled, we'll obviously have a toast. So that's my day, guys. Exhausted. How's everybody else?
Sleep off of somebody, if that means anything. I am so tired. It's not even funny.
Wow.
Yeah, so, and my daughter, she seems like her issues are reverting back to when she was a little baby. So, yeah, between that and work, losing sleep. And Logic, Logic.
Yeah.
Logic,
how's life up there?
What's that?
How's life in the big Philly under the weather?
I don't know. I'm sick. I ain't been really doing nothing but trying to get better.
Oh, poor BJ and Logic.
I wonder if BJ inadvertently gave him some kind of, like, his cold, and I don't know, if there's a way to transfer the cold through social media, through the phone, or process, maybe that's what happened.
Is that what he has? He has the cold? I thought he said he had the flu. But is the cold?
Or the flu that's going around. I hope it's not that one. I don't know. No, I think he did say flu. I don't remember. Logic, do you have the flu or a cold?
I don't know what I have. It's this recurring, kind of like bronchitis, where can't really breathe, and I get the shivers.
Oh, wow. That's how the flu starts, though. At least that symptoms sound that way, but hopefully that's not what it is.
No, I've had the flu before. The flu is just, feeling like crap, basically.
Yeah, sore bones and everything. Well, you guys, once it's another warm week out here, 74 degrees, we're unseasonably warm, so most of our residents are probably not under the weather. If anything, they're out in the weather. So.
Does it ever get cold over there?
Absolutely. So it's unseasonably warm for us. February is indeed our coldest month, so we're even kind of surprised that it's this warm the entire week, and this is the first, especially going into February. So, yeah, it definitely gets cold. But
okay.
It's very, very warm, though. I mean, I have a pool. I'll be jumping in it. That's to make a long story short, because it's been that hot. So.
Oh, your new house has a pool?
Yeah, it has a pool and a jacuzzi, so we were excited about that. Yep.
Cool.
Pool parties.
Well,
barbecues.
I know I sound this segment isn't sounding as hyped up as it usually is, but I am seriously like half asleep. I want to go to bed so bad.
Wake up. Look, if I could do
I'm
it, you
trying.
could. Logistic, I'm overwhelmed with packing and wrapping, and I'm just like,
I want to be packing. I want to move somewhere. Moving is a hassle, but it is pretty exciting, though. And then you get used to where you are, and it's just like, meh.
And it's like, what I'm hyped up about again? What? Why? What? Did it matter? What?
Yeah. And then you're ready to move again.
It wears off quickly. At least I think so.
So what are y'all gonna do with the condo, or it's not your business anymore?
Kind of transfer that business back over to Sugar Daddy to let him decide. Honestly, because it's not really in good taste to still deal with it, if you know what I mean. With the new relationship, it's like I'm letting all my connections go with Sugar Daddy, so business-wise. So he's gonna take over.
Cool beans.
Yep.
Cool beans.
Yeah.
I'm glad your dude put his foot down.
Well, he did. He did. Absolutely. But it's all good.
All right.
So speaking of relationships,
I was kind of worried. You said what?
Speaking of relationships, we have lots of questions to answer, don't we?
Yeah, that's what I was about to say. I was kind of worried that tonight we were going to answer relationship questions, just you and I. That would have been interesting.
Oh, my gosh, yes.
Yeah. So we have a bunch of questions to get to, and let's get right to it. So the first question is, can a marriage heal from an affair? What do y'all think? Can a marriage heal from an affair?
Of course.
Of course.
With the right kind of approach to it. I mean, you would have to get counseling, obviously. And that person, whoever cheated, they would have to earn back the trust that they lost. I mean, it can happen, but it will require patience and a lot of work.
Yeah, that would be very difficult. I think in that aspect, once the trust is gone, it's, oh my God, I can't. I don't know if it would work for me because I would constantly be questioning, where are you? I need you to check in. Why aren't you answering your phone? The second something looks, just out of the norm, I don't think I could do it. I don't know. I don't think I could do it. So, Shar, have you ever been in your first marriage, right? You were in a relationship where the guy cheated?
Yeah. Yep. And first marriage,
were you able to forgive him?
Oh, yeah, I did because, I think at the time I was just holding on anyway because my son was so young and I was one of those moms like, oh my God, let me just raise some mom and a dad. That's ridiculous, but I did. And then you know what? My ex-husband he was such a brute. He would tell there was more than one. So he would tell these other chicks, okay, if you dare call my house, I'm never leaving my wife. She's number one. So don't you ever disrespect my home and my family. I'm going, are you serious? How? I mean, that's ridiculous. It's like really, that's sick. It's just sick in its own way. Yeah, so.
I mean, my thing is they went along with it, so that's the crazy part. They're like,
crazy.
Okay.
Yeah, because I know one time we went to the grocery store together, and there was a lady that just kept staring that was checking our food out, the cashier. And then he tells me, we get back to the car, he goes, did you notice she was paying a lot of attention to you? I said, well, yeah. And she just kept staring. I was like, yeah. He goes, well, she's someone that I used to see. I didn't tell you about her. It's almost like he was bragging openly about it, but yet every time I threatened to leave, he would say, you're not ever leaving me unless you leave me dead. That's what he told me. So I hung on for almost 20 years. Yeah, this was crazy. I hung on for almost 20 years. And then the other side of him was just so nurturing, loving, amazing, funny, cool, protective, everything. It was so sick. And we were so young. It was just crazy. It was really crazy. Because I was 18 when 17 when we started dating. He was 19, and we had our baby within that first year. He had asked me to marry him before I knew I was pregnant. And everyone's like, shotgun, but we honestly wanted to be together forever at that point. Because when you're young, you think you are in love or whatever, so we just thought we were. But honestly, as we got older, we talked about, people have to mature and be responsible. We can't use that as an excuse. I was young, Or he would say, well, my father, I'm sorry, but this is all I knew was abuse, because his father beat the crap out of his mother. In fact, that's how his mother finally passed, was from being so physically beat down, yeah. I mean, it was much more brutal and violent than anything I ever went through. But I saw it happen in his mother's relationship. I mean, in his mom and dad's relationship. I saw it happening. So, the children don't forget. They do look up to their parents. And if parents are giving these kind of examples when they're raising their children, don't think that those kids, if they don't get help or learn a better way or counseling or something, they may grow up to believe this is normal behavior, that abuse is normal.
Oh,
even if,
definitely.
Yeah, so he was a victim of that. But his second marriage, from what I understand, he's healed, he's matured, he would never put a hand on her. And she told me, and he told me, and I'm really proud that at some point we do grow and we move on and we learn, and we become a better person for it. So that's
but at some point, do you ever wonder why he wasn't that way with you?
Yeah, because the only thing I could think of is like he told me. He said he was very obsessed with me. That was the first thing. He always told me that. He says, I was just obsessed with you. And he goes, it wasn't actually you. I just jealous or something, like someone's looking at me, watching me, they want me. It was really ridiculous. Plus, we were just young. By the time he married his second wife, he just turned 40. It's a huge difference between 18 and 40.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah. My first marriage, I dealt with cheating as well. I guess it wasn't the same as yours. It wasn't as open. It's more I found stuff, So that's how come I know. First of all, I'm never dealing with that again, and second of all, I know that I won't. I know how my mind will be. I wouldn't be able to move forward with it because I'll always be wondering, like, okay, you didn't answer the phone. Why didn't you answer the phone? What were you doing? You know what I'm saying? So I know how my mind will be. So that trust, once it's broken, it's completely broken. So, yeah. But I guess for some people, if you can get over that trust issue, and if you feel like you love the person enough, you can heal from an affair.
Yeah, then you can get back.
I'm just not one of them. So, so if you feel you can trust him or her, feel you can trust him or her, and you can get over what they did, and you absolutely cannot think about it or continuously bring it up. You have to just forgive them and get past it. Then yeah, you can heal. If you feel like deep inside of you you cannot do that, then I would suggest it's time to move on.
Yeah, even an inkling of that feeling is going to come back up. I mean, if it comes back up, if you even feel that way, even a tiny morsel, then run. Don't walk, just run, because it'll come back into the relationship as a greater issue, and you'll never have trust. And without trust, what do you have? So you have to be really honest with yourself and dig deep. Yeah.
Exactly. So the next question is, I cheated, and I want to tell my wife, but I'm afraid of losing her. Should I tell her?
You're probably going to lose her anyway, buddy, but what do you think, Logic? You're probably going to lose her anyway, but you still got to tell her. Logic, are you there?
Yeah, I'm here.
Okay. We'll let you take that one.
So what do you say?
Honesty is key in any relationship, so you can't be worried about what's going to, like, how they're going to react to you or what they're going to say. You have to be honest, period. The person to be honest with you. So you need to be honest, even if you're the one that did something. So, yeah, he needs to tell.
But, I mean, suppose they stick to that thought process. So they tell the person that they cheated. Like, for instance, if it was you and your girl told you that she cheated, would you give her another chance?
More than likely not. But if he loses her, then he deserves that because he cheated. So what is he going to, like, you know what I mean? Like, you're going to go the rest of your life in that relationship being dishonest about who you were. And let's face it, if he cheated, then more than likely either A, there's something going on with him, or B, there's something off that is going to end up pushing him to cheat again, or in his mind, he got away with it first time, so he'll do it again. And nothing is going to change. So if he doesn't fess up and give that person the opportunity and respect, respect enough to be honest, but also give them the opportunity to decide whether or not that they want to stay in that relationship. You can't make that decision for them by lying to them and keeping them in the dark about what relationship they really are in. You know, if she wants to stay, if she loves him enough or whatever, then she's going to have to make a decision on whether or not she's going to stay or go.
What is that noise? I mean, I agree. I agree. You should go ahead and tell your wife, or, if it's a woman, you should go ahead and tell your husband. And then you face the consequences. You never know if they're going to give you another chance. And if they don't, then you got to face the music for your mistake.
Yeah, I mean, how worried was he about her reaction when he was cheating? Was he thinking about her then? So if he wanted to do whatever he wanted to do at that time, then he has to,
do the consequences, because he obviously wasn't thinking of her at the time. Of course not. You can't possibly be thinking of someone when you're doing something that selfish. So
I don't feel sorry for
him. There are some people who try to use that. I was thinking about you the whole time.
Well,
there are some people who actually.
That's even more twisted and morbid. Like you were thinking about your significant other while you were pounding somebody else. Like, how sick is that? What does that mean? Like, is it supposed to make it better? Yeah.
I mean, has that ever been told to any one of y'all? Because I want to know what the reaction would be. Or any listeners, has that ever been told to you? Like, if the person cheated on you or was out, talking to somebody else, and you caught them, did they ever say, like, I was thinking about you the whole time? Because I want to know what the reaction would be.
In the blow, just soften the blow. You're on my mind.
Actually, to me, that makes it worse.
Just think about how little you must mean if they were thinking about you and still continue to do what they were doing. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's kind of a
I love you, so I had to tell you.
I think that would add insult to injury, and that would be the straw that made me snap. Ma'am, why'd you do it? He said, and I quote, "I was thinking about you the whole time." And then when I woke up, I just saw him laying there. I don't know what happened. That would just be the straw.
That's as bad as when I just told you guys the story of my ex-husband. My wife is number one. She's the most important thing to me. Really? I mean, people say the dumb things when they're being that selfish and making those types of decisions. They're very conscious of what they're doing. If someone's number one, you can do that. Period. So clearly, if someone's being cheated on, they're not number one. Trust me, you're not. You're so not. At least not at that moment. It's just something to say.
I mean, they're thinking about you, yeah, but it's not in the way you want them to think about you.
But it's selfish also to make a threat to the other person. If you say anything, so you don't want to get caught. Is that what it is? Okay. Don't you dare contact my wife or even say anything to her. She is the most important thing to me.
What would you have done if somebody did contact you? Would you have done anything?
No, but his mother told me it happened to her, and her answer was a lady called his brother's house while we were living with them at the time. Young, getting our lives together. And his mother says, "Welcome to my poison," because the caller says, "Hi, is Joe home?" And she's like, "Who's this?" And the lady goes, "This is his girlfriend." And his mother says, "Well, welcome to my poison, honey." I said, "What?" That was her response. "Welcome to my poison."
Wow.
He's sharing both of us, but you're in for a ride because she knows how he treats her. I don't know why people think if they cheat, they're going to be treated better than how the wife is being cheated or the girlfriend or the fiance or what have you. But if he
doesn't like to think that they're going to change the guy, that's why.
Right.
It's a project. They like to think that they're going to change him. Guys aren't like that. All right. So, actually, let me ask Logic. Are guys like that?
Like what?
Like they think they could change the woman. They'll take on that project of a broken woman, like, I could change her. Maybe if I do right by her, she won't, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
Really?
Captain Save-A-Ho.
They call it Captain Save-A-Ho.
Captain Save-A-Ho. Yep.
That dude, that's always some chick got a problem. Or she's out there, she's acting crazy, and, there could be a guy that's like, you know what, she just needs to know that there's a different type of, who knows, I don't know. But, yeah, there's guys out there that does it. They do it.
I mean, I guess I've been like that, because, as soon as you said they need to know there's a different type of, I've been there. They just need to know that there's a different, world out there, and what you've gone through your whole life, blah, 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 blah. But I kind of learned that once you're you. Doesn't matter. I just didn't know that guys did that, though. I thought that was a female trait.
It's not a feminine trait. It's more of a self-esteem issue. If you don't have a high opinion of yourself, then what you tend to do is lower the bar for the person that you want in your life or the situation that you want, because you don't have enough confidence to know that you can demand more or that you deserve more. So that kind of, what's the word I could use? That confidence issue is not male or female. It's just a human condition. So it just manifests itself in different ways. But when it comes to relationships, absolutely. Like all these dudes are tricking money on chicks, trying to buy them houses and cars and take them out because they're trying to peacock in a way, like, hey, look at me, blah, 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 instead of just being who they are and then having somebody accept them for what they are and what they see. That's right in front of them. They're not confident enough to just be themselves. And so that's that type that spends money. The other type is what I just described, which will lower the bar and go for these wayward kids, or if you ever see people that are constantly in relationships with a broken person that requires help or fixing and whatever, and this is the way that this person feels important. So they tend to constantly have people in their lives that have problems all the time.
Wow. Well, never knew that. Question. This one. My daughter is engaged to an Asian man. I don't have a problem with Asians, but I believe in all white babies. Should I tell my daughter?
I mean, yes, because that I don't think they'll embrace the grandchild should they have children, and then there just be this standoffish type of I'm not totally accepting of you. You're a part of my blood, but you're the other. I would prefer you be pure, or that's just wrong. That's prejudice. That's prejudice. It's judgmental. It's prejudice. And I think that your daughter should. The daughter probably already knows to some extent. How can you not know how your parents think on certain levels?
What are you talking about? How? It's definitely possible for a child not to know. When I say child, I don't mean it's like adolescent, but someone's child not knowing how they really think. That's definitely possible.
Well, no, not necessarily, because logic is if let's say that the home, maybe prejudice is a strong word, but when you're judgmental about certain other races, usually it's something that comes up in general conversation throughout that child's life.
No, not all the time. Not all the time, because if you can have people that's grown up pretty much around white society or something, right? And so there was never a reason for discussions of blackness to come up. And then whomever, the daughter or the son, grows up and they move away and they get into a relationship with a person of another race. Now, they could just be a very down-to-earth person and think to themselves, well, this is cool or whatever, because they've never heard their parents say anything, because there was never a reason to say anything about anything.
Mm-hmm.
Now, here they go in a relationship, and then they can't figure out why the parents are so against it, just because it would have been the first time that this thing would have needed to come up. You understand what I mean?
That would be so freaking disappointing.
Yeah.
You said what?
I said that would be disappointing if you didn't know your parent was racist. Yeah, and then you find out because you find somebody, and you're not looking at their skin color. You're looking at the person they are. As the first guy or girl you've gotten with that has treated you well, and your parents are like, I ain't having no black babies or no Asian babies or no Latino babies or whatever,
But I don't
mind
black bloodline. Just keep it pure. Don't mind those people. They can stay over there. They're just fine. They seem like nice people.
Yeah, that's racist, and I hate when people try and act like it's not. I'm not racist. I do have Asian friends. I don't, or like this person said. What did they say? I don't have a problem with Asians. Look, you're racist. For you to say you want to keep the bloodline pure and crap like that, that's kind of racist.
You totally have a problem. Sorry.
I mean, I'm sorry to tell you, but the bloodline is pure because the baby will still be human. I can guarantee you that. It'll still be human.
You'll even see it. You'll even see it within racial lines. Like Puerto Ricans, they encourage their kids, and I'm sure other, Latin Americans, but they encourage their children to get with other light Puerto Ricans because they don't want to darken the so-called bloodline.
Viva la raza.
They have a saying. It's so common that they have a saying that she just said that it's like it means to think of the race or pure or keep the race pure, whatever it is. They want to disassociate themselves so much from the fact that they are an ex-slave colony, so they are black people that were mixed up into the way that they look now, and they just happen to be Spain that was running it, and that's why they speak Spanish. But they want to act like there's something else, so they encourage their generations to stay away from dark-skinned Puerto Ricans or black people in general if they're, stateside.
That's just horrible. And that happened
but nobody
to a friend.
think of it that way, but they're racist.
That happened to a friend of mine. She's Latino. She actually looks like she's mixed, like she's black and white. But she's Latino from Central America, or is she from South America? One of the two, Central or South. And she only dated black guys. But I guess when it came time to settle down, like I guess her parents didn't tell her anything until it came time to actually get married, and she was going to marry this guy. And her parents were like, I don't think you should do it. Like, what would your babies be? And I was like, what are you talking about? I was like, what are you talking about? I said, I come to your house all the time. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, and she's like, they don't have a problem with you. It's just me getting married. They're old school.
Yeah, you're one of the good ones.
Don't try and put a Band-Aid on it. They're not old school. That's racist. And I just really never dealt with her parents after that because I was like, wow. It's not you don't have a problem. You absolutely have a problem with me if your child can't marry somebody that looks like me. You absolutely have a problem with me. So I hate when they put, like, Band-Aids on it. They're old school. They don't have a problem if you don't have a problem with black people at all. It's just, me marrying them. I don't know. I hear a lot of people put in Band-Aids or cute titles on racism. So, I don't know. Should you tell your daughter? I think you...
I think you should keep your racist cleanse to yourself.
I think the daughter needs to know because if she's bringing her baby over...
Listen to me. Her daughter is going to figure it out because she's going to see it. She's not going to be able to hold it, and it's going to be obvious. So she need not even bring it up because what is the expected result? That she's not going to have a child with this person that she wants to be with? And she's going to, since you put it that way, I'll break up with him immediately. Like, what do you expect to happen here? You know what I mean? So, no, keep your bigoted thoughts to yourself. And if I were you, I would try to broaden my horizons and realize that there's only one race in this world, and it's human.
Well, okay, Logic, but here's another angle. What if she says nothing, and eventually she learns to not only love the husband or the mate, but even eventually they have children, and through getting to know him or her, she realizes, hey, they're just as human as the rest of us, and then they have children, and she learns and grows to love the babies just the same, and maybe nothing has to be said. Maybe it was all, think of it that way. What if it just isn't an issue after all, because she might grow to change, to love, to accept. And not even within her own self, maybe she didn't even know. Like maybe the mother didn't know that was in her. People sometimes judge because they don't know, because they don't understand people or a certain type of race or culture. But when they're around them, they might, and they're immersed in it. Maybe it's like, hey, you're just like me in so many other ways too. So why did I ever feel that way about who you are? I mean, about your culture or your race? Why? And
I was going to say that. I was going to say that more to the baby because. I don't want to say a lot, but I've seen it happen where you have the baby of mixed culture, and the parents forget all about. I thought you were going to have a baby with this person, and they just love the baby. However, I got to tell you this 100%. They see it only as their own culture. They don't see it as the other person, like at all. So, like, if you have
if the baby does something like throw a ball or something like that, they'll say, that's that Cuban baseball side coming out in them. Like, what? Maybe it's the black side. What are you talking about?
Or the baby.
She likes arroz con pollo and blah, blah, blah. That must be the Latino. Maybe the baby likes chicken and rice. It's not that deep. What are you talking about? Yeah.
No, but it's that's seriously serious.
No, listen. You don't have to speculate. When it comes to Tiger Woods, Asians try to claim his prowess in golf. Asians. Even though his black father had him out there on that golf course working for hours and was the one that trained him and taught him to be what he is, they continuously ignore the fact that Tiger Woods has a black father, and they constantly call him Asian. And he is one of these people that has a problem with being black, and he refers to himself as Asian. Yes.
Yeah. Did he really? He referred to himself as Asian? I thought he just said he wasn't
when they
black.
spoke to him, when he won the Masters, he
Right.
said, I am of Asian descent. And blah, 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 blah. Made no mention of his father that
Right.
looked like, you know, one of the Frankie Beverly and Mays singers. You know what I'm saying? He's clearly a black dude.
Right,
but,
right. He only
you know,
acknowledges his
what
mother
I think,
in her
what
culture.
I think the wake-up call should have been for Tiger, if he was under this impression, is when he lost, when he won, and that white man got upset. He didn't say, I hope they don't bring wonton soup and egg rolls to the blah, blah, blah. He said, I hope they don't bring fried chicken to the Masters. So he saw you as a black man, just like the rest of the world saw you as a black man. So you could feel what you want. And in the end of the day, this is what they see when they see you.
Oh, my God. Did he really?
That was years ago. You never heard that?
No.
That was the first time. That was when he first won. He won the first Master, first black guy win the Master. And the guy was so angry that he lost. He said, I hope they don't bring fried chicken and collard greens or something to the Masters and blah, 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 and walked off.
Oh, my God.
Yeah, but who?
No,
but over
I don't remember that. And nobody
yeah.
said anything to him? Like,
well, you
he
know,
didn't
this
get
is
fined or
pre-Twitter,
anything?
pre-Facebook, you know, it wasn't that time at that time. You know, it was mentioned, but no, there was no outrage to the point where he had to issue an apology. You know, there was no online at that time. This was like, you know,
wow.
the late 90s.
social media and all that, and any
Well, I mean,
movements.
Tiger Woods could have just made him issue an apology, like just really
Well,
let him get away
again,
with that?
That's if Tiger Woods felt offended as a black man, which he did not, because he looks at himself like an Asian.
Well, yeah, he wasn't offended. He separates himself. He only gives credit to his, not credit. What's the word? He only gives reference to his mother. He speaks of her as if he was made
Where's
by
his
one
father?
Yeah, whatever Woods, black guy. I don't know.
No, where is he? Did he grow up with his father?
Yes.
Did you not listen to anything I said? He was the one that took him to the
That's what
golf
I thought.
course.
So how is that man not calling him out? Like, you ingrate son of a...
Well, this is like I said before.
I don't think he's ever
You have
embraced black
you
people.
have people. You have people that get involved that happen to fall in love with somebody of a different race. Then you got certain people that chase after other races because they feel in some way it makes them better or something like that, or, you know, oh, my kid is kind of hair or whatever. So if they're not particularly a proud person to begin with, then no. If you get with a Chinese chick, she's more than likely going to teach him about China and their culture, because she's proud of her culture. If she's, you know, a person that's proud of her culture. If you're not a person that's proud of your culture, if you're white, black, Spanish, and you just a black, white, or Spanish guy walking around and don't know anything about who you are, then yeah, your kid is only going to know what the mother's teaching, because you're not teaching anything. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's true. But wow, yeah, I didn't know that happened to Tiger Woods.
Well, you know what? And his children came out looking almost 100% white. I guarantee you that Tiger probably never. Yeah, they did. They actually did. Well, of course, he not only did he marry an extremely European-looking woman. I think wasn't her family from? Are they Dutch or something or whatever, something like that, or Swedish? But the point is, even though the children are obviously around, I'm assuming around the grandfather, and they can see this black man, I wouldn't be surprised if they didn't realize that was their blood. That's their father's father. And this is part of who we are, because Tiger probably only talks about, hey, you're Asian, you're white, you know what I mean? You're something else, but you're not black.
How
ever.
does he just see himself as Asian? He actually looks like a black guy more than Asian. Like, he has almond eyes, but black people do too.
Okay, hold on. All right. So Tiger Woods' father died in 2006.
Oh my God, that's years ago. So the grandchildren would never see him.
He was a grown man, though.
No.
Tiger Woods was a grown man.
Yeah.
What were you gonna say?
Tiger Woods was a good
Oh
girl.
man.
His name is Earl Woods, and he used to be a baseball player.
Wow.
And,
Wow.
Yep.
So those kids will never know.
I
They'll
mean,
never have a clue.
did he
No one's
love
gonna tell
his
them.
father?
Yes, I
I
believe
mean,
he did.
listen, he's in plenty of pictures hugging him
Right.
on the golf
Okay.
course,
Mhm.
smiling. So, who knows what their personal relationship was. However, the one that taught him and gave him the skill that he has it was his father. He did it. It wasn't the Chinese mother out there teaching him his backswing. It was his father.
See, I want to speak with someone who has children from a mixed culture marriage, and the child only acknowledges one side. I want to know how that feels to them. I really want to know, like, how do you just sweep me under the rug?
Like his father just never happened, other than his career and being supportive. It takes two to make a baby, but maybe he just chooses. You know what? You know what it could have been, Kai? How do we know he wasn't trying? He obviously wasn't trying to pass, because it's so obvious that he's black too. But maybe he felt like he had more opportunity, even career-wise, if he just embraced his other side, or his Asian side, opposed to his black side at all.
Well, I mean,
because
that
yeah,
can be
see,
true.
This is Tiger and his father on the Mike Douglas show back in '78, and he was at 2 years old playing golf, and it was his father holding him and telling him what to do and everything. So he's always been around. I mean, it wasn't like he had an estranged father. He was always there.
How did that feel to his father that he was just like, I'm Asian? And like you're saying, he had more opportunity, but you have more fame being the first black dude to win the whatever Open it is. I understand,
when it's convenient, he accepts that, probably, I'm sure, any title. When, the first black this or that. But when it comes down to interviews and the way that he describes himself and sees himself as Asian. He said it plenty of times. And then he married a white woman because he prefers white women, period. He said that too.
Well, I don't know. I don't know what, I'm not going to go out on a limb and say he is a this or that, but I know what he said when they asked him. And he said, I am of Asian descent, which I still remember that. Was like, what? Wow.
And then people still made jokes like, we the delegation take back Tiger Woods. If you don't want us, I don't want you. So, I don't know. That's amazing. Anyways, next question. So basically, the vote is go ahead and tell your daughter so she knows basically how racist you are. And she can make an informed decision whether or not to bring her kid around. Pretty sure it won't make a difference in her relationship, because if the guy's been treating her well enough that she wants to marry him, that's all that matters. So I really don't think it'll make a difference, except now that she knows how bigoted her parents are. So, next question. How do I tell my wife to lose weight or I'll cheat on her with my ex who's hot? You kind of do that by slapping yourself and then leaving her. That's how I would do it. Seriously?
Oh, my God. How cruel can we be? Talk about honesty.
That's what he said.
Not always best. Honesty may not always be best. I mean,
logic. How do they do that?
Losing weight can be approached many different ways. But to throw that cheating thing in there with X, I don't know, Logic. What do you think?
I think that he should break up and not force this woman to be with somebody like him. I mean, for you to cheat and have this attitude as if it's their fault that you're cheating because they're not in the shape that you want them to be, that's the epitome of selfishness. You know, so very immature. And I don't think that anyone should be, cursed to be with somebody like that. Because when will this woman ever be out of the woods? Like, what if she gets sick? Car accident and is a paraplegic and can't have sex anymore? Like, so what is it going to be? Oh, well, you're in a wheelchair, so I'm going to go ahead and smash these chicks on the side. You understand, right? Yeah.
That is an enormous douchebag, I gotta say. I gotta say.
Pretty bad.
He has a huge set of cojones to even come and ask other people like that, like we're gonna agree. Oh yeah, well the way you tell her is to,
my question would be though, how would you feel if something happened with you? You had to take medicine or whatever, something made you gain weight, and your wife just starts smashing this ex or this dude who was in great shape, and her look to you was, well, you got fat, what do you want me to do? And then, like, shrugged her shoulders about it, like, I don't know what to tell you. Like, how would you feel? I don't know.
I mean,
I don't know.
I want to say easy way to tell her to drop maybe, 180 to maybe 205 pounds is to just leave. She'll drop weight fast. Just leave. Good God. And go back to your ex.
You know what?
Why is she your ex anyway?
Well, yeah, exactly. But here's the other thing. It's not just the weight. It's about other things. People he may be using that as a crutch or an excuse because if she did become super slim, then he may have another reason that he just decides to cheat on her. So apparently he's just not happy in the relationship. So let that be the reason. Because if you're so insecure with yourself that you would be hurtful enough to even say that your ex is hotter, then why are you even with your wife in the first place? And why are you even seeing your ex, having any communication with her, or even considering getting back with her? So there's a lot more deeper issues than the weight, than being fat. It goes way beyond that.
If I were her, I would leave. You be happy with who you are, and that's
right.
it. Just leave the dude alone. But she probably doesn't even know he feels like that because he's such a coward. He probably didn't even tell her. Yeah, you should just leave her. That's what I would suggest. Just get out.
Well, thank God our callers are anonymous, so we never know. So she will never know that he was calling in about her, writing in about her. Oh, my God.
I'm never going to get over that.
Get some advice. Anonymously. We'll never tell him
Anonymous.
Anonymously. No, I'm kidding.
Why does my ex-husband want us to be friends?
Because he wants to bang you.
I don't get that. Why doesn't he just stay her husband then?
You said what?
I said I don't get that. Why doesn't he just stay her husband then?
She probably broke up with him.
Then if you think she broke up with him and he wants them to be friends, doesn't that mean
it doesn't
probably
matter who broke up with who? You're just saying, like, why wouldn't he stay her husband? She could have broke up with him. That's why he didn't stay her husband. But he still wants to be friends because he wants. But if he left her, he still wants to be friends because he wants to bang her. It's the same either way.
Okay then. Yeah. How can I argue with that?
A lot of people want their cake and they want to eat it too. So it's okay. I don't have to deal with all these issues with your husband.
My question is, why are you still humoring contact with your ex-husband?
Right.
Why would you even still be able to know that he wants to be friends? Like, you shouldn't even be talking to him anymore. What's that about?
Sometimes I'm
okay?
just tired of being a parent. God, I'm just. Oh. So I'm going to just give you an insight to what happened just now. So my daughter, I gave her dinner while I'm on here. She has a piece of chicken. She has a headache. So, the first time she was doing her homework and she just had her plate sitting there. Then I hear, "Are you serious?" What happened? Mushu, our cat, licked the chicken. Okay, don't worry about it because obviously I'm on the radio show. I'm doing like 15 different things. Don't worry about it. Put that chicken in the trash. I'll feed it to them later so we're not at least wasting it. Get another piece, which is the last piece, which is my piece. Get another piece, no problem. She gets that. She's just been feeling kind of under the weather, so her head's hurting. She's kind of waiting for her head to stop hurting, this and this. She has the plate there. And I'm like, just keep it away from the cat. So while Logic is talking, I just hear, "Again? What happened? She licked my chicken." Are you freaking, you know what? I just.
Why does she get another plate if she's waiting for her head to stop hurting?
I don't think it was hurting before. I think she tried to eat, but then she realized her head was. Look, I'm on the show. I don't know. Good God.
Okay, but that's right.
Anyway.
That's just cat eats both pieces of chicken. That's what I'm trying to follow here. Is that what happened?
Yes, the cat just had both pieces of chicken, and my meat
And what
is
was the piece
expensive.
of
So
chicken?
think free range, grain fed organic meat, and how much that freaking costs.
And am I thinking baked or extra crispy, rotisserie style? I mean, lemon pepper. What were the seasonings?
This is chicken night. This is chicken night.
Hold on.
What are you talking
Let's cut
about?
through all the nonsense. This is what you do in situations like that. When your kids do something retarded like that, what you then do is send them to bed with rice and water. So when they sit up there like, next time I got a plate for you and there's some good food on it, you better make sure that the cat don't get a meal out of your plate. Every time it happens like that, you're going to bed with prison rations, bread and water. That'll fix that up real quick.
Oh my God. And
You
of course,
understand what I'm
it's not her
saying?
fault. Those.
No,
Yeah,
no. Listen, in general, perhaps not. That was a dumb move. How old is your daughter? How old is your daughter?
10.
Huh?
Isn't
10.
she 10?
So
Okay.
she's 10. That's more than old enough to know that if the last place I had my plate that the cat licked it, then I'm not going to put the plate there again where the cat licked it, and I'm not going to be watching for the cat that licked it the first time. That's what I'm saying. She's old enough to know that. And your reaction is to like, are you sitting? No. You need to start acting like a prison warden. Oh, yeah, word. That's what you're going to do. You're going to do it the second time? All right, tell you what. Put the plate in there, get some bread and water, start getting ready for bed. You're going to bed an hour early tonight. Why? No question about it. Go. Before the slipper comes off.
So
Before
Kai,
what?
Logic, your
I said before the slipper come off.
Can we just kind of segue into something relationship based, right? But I'm noticing we have a pattern. A lot of our relationship questions, obviously people have problems, so a lot of them are troublesome. They're sad. They're dysfunctional. Even what I just shared with you guys earlier about my dysfunction. But I want to share something happy. I just had a happy moment while we were listening to Kai's story about the chicken. It was a random text that I received, but it was a very positive, happy relationship moment. And I think our viewers might like to hear it because we've been hearing some really weird, creepy stuff lately. You guys ready? From
Go
my
ahead.
fiance, he says, just a random thought. I wanted you to know that I love you very much and I appreciate you.
Oh, God. Nobody wants to hear this, Shar. I don't want to hear about this phantom calling you and texting you. I just want to let you know that No, we're not doing that. We're not doing that. Nobody wants to hear about this guy allegedly sending you this message. Beat it with that. A bunch of nonsense. Shut up.
Show.
Oh my God.
How
and
hungry for attention can you be? Oh, I just want to share with my fiance. Shut up.
Oh, Logic, stop it. You know you've had random moments where you send a lady that you like
And
a really
guess
nice
what?
text or something.
They're private. I'm not going to sit up there and say, hey, I'm not going to be hanging with my friends after they just talked about something like, hey, guys, this is just really depressing. So let me tell you on what my girl texted me earlier. She said that you are the light of my life, and I'm just so happy that you're a part of my business. Isn't that nice, you guys?
Very private.
Oh, God.
That's not private. When you say you love someone,
Beat it.
and I'm happy you're in my life, that's not private.
I don't care. No one cares. No one cares, Shar. No one cares. No one cares.
No.
Goodness gracious.
Such a grouse.
No, it's not being. Do you know how? Listen, I'm trying to help you out. Don't ever be somewhere and you're talking to other people about something. Don't ever say, hey, let me tell you what my fiance said to me. It's sure to brighten your day. People are going to hate your guts. They're going to be like, can you believe this chick said that? I hate that girl. I hate her and her dude. They're not even going to know you, and they're going to hate you because it's such an odd way to conduct yourself. Let me tell you about my life that's going to make you feel better. You know how arrogant that is?
No, it's not arrogant.
It is.
And I'm saying that there's negativity in relationships all day long, every day. People leave.
And yours is what? The bonsai tree of positivity?
I got pregnant by the neighbor. That's negative. This is a positive moment. And when we have positive moments, we should share that more often than all the negativity. But because you're right, you would know the difference.
Sure. You're 50. You need to understand that that's private stuff. Okay, if your relationship, listen to me, if your relationship is great, then that's great. But do not use it as a way for you to tell people, hey, here's a way I can cheer you up. Let me tell you about my relationship. They are not going to like that. That's typically going to be looked at as how.
You don't have anything happy to talk about.
How do you know? You don't know anything about my personal life.
Flavor of the week, Logic. The way that you talk about women and the way you see women.
Wow.
What is it talk about on your end?
The way I talk about women. How do I talk about women?
The way that you view women, you don't have anything.
Wait. Do you really think that I shout to women in my life, go make me a sandwich? Is that what you think I do?
Logic, I think that you're chauvinistic. A lot.
No.
I think it's one of those times. You just want to
I didn't think that I needed to clarify that, but obviously it's satire.
No,
for me to
that's
say,
how
go make me a sandwich.
That's how you come across.
Listen, if you personally talk to Kai, because she's known me for a long time, she will let you know that I'm a very independent guy. I really don't need girls to do anything.
As a showmantic person. I'm not going to say the other word because it's not necessarily true, but you're probably doing it just for radio. Who knows? For the shock factor, I don't know.
But you just use that. You just use that as a crux to say that I'm a chauvinist.
That's how people are seeing on radio. That's what they're hearing. That's what the viewers hear. And believe me, they don't like
and listen, if any listener is retarded enough to think that I'm really out there shouting to women, go make me a sandwich, after I make some masculine statement, then
unless you're contradicting yourself, you talk this way all the time for years. And sometimes I think you're joking, but there's no way anybody could be that rude. And
look. I'm not going to get into it. Shar, listen to me. I'm not going to argue with you. You do that. You do that with your fiance. I'm not going to sit here and bicker with you. Okay, but in the end of the day, the only thing that I do towards women that most people don't is I am not one of these people that forgive women for things that they don't forgive men for. If women are always running around talking about they want a man to have their life together and I'm not raising no kids, you got to be a man. It's the same thing that I demand of women. Have your shit together, have a job, have some kind of motivation in life. If you have kids, keep it moving because I don't have kids. I think people with kids should talk to other people with kids, you know, but I'm not helping you with your bills. I'm not taking your horse shit. And if you bang a lot of people or you run around out there with your titties out or you constantly got something on that's showing your camel toe to everybody, I'm going to call you what you are, which is a whore. That's what you are. And most women who have modesty are not into that because they don't want to constantly be putting out a sexual energy to make men come to them like, hey, what's up? You trying to blah, blah, blah. You know, only girls who are typically have low self-esteem constantly are trying to exude sexual vibes to everyone. Good women want to have a lot of sex with one person, a good person, a good man or whatever, which is the reason why they don't have problems with monogamistic relationships. Women that constantly break up, every 6 months they breaking up again, they got a problem. And I'm just not one of these people to look past it like, oh, it's just she hasn't met the right man. No, something's wrong with her. If she's got the same guy 7 times in a row, there's something going on with this chick, just like there's something going on with the man. Any man that's out there constantly losing jobs, constantly having babies, constantly in relationships, and then they're not in a relationship. Something's wrong with that guy. Stay away from him. I'm very across the board even. I don't hate women. Why would I hate women? I love them, but you know.
I don't know logic. I don't know. I think a lot of it's just for show factor. I don't believe you're really that way. But listen, just for the remainder of the show, we know we have a controversial show. We encourage people to be controversial, but just for the remainder of the show, I challenge any of the other listeners to share something that your loved one, your lover, or your man or your mate has done today actually was positive and uplifted you in your day, whether it was a text or a little note on the before you went to work.
Okay.
With being positive. And
in the end of the day, this show is about people with relationship questions. Usually people are not asking questions if everything is peaches and cream. Okay, what I was trying to tell you is it's a little bit egotistical for anyone to run around and hear, oh, well, this is, you sound like this is depressing. Let me tell you how great my life is. People don't like to hear that. That's what I'm saying. It's just, I want you to understand. Char, you're still talking. You're not listening to what I'm saying. You're still talking.
Everything, Logic. The relationships are not always, you're not always upset. It's sad and fighting all the time. Any happy moment. So share your damn happy moment. Hey, that's
when is she getting married?
When
is she getting married?
People and just ignore everything that Logic
says. Married?
Right back into the rest of the show. Try to take from
there. When are you getting married, Char? When are you getting married?
Ready to release the date, you guys will know that. Because I'll probably just mention it casually. I don't know. When I'm ready to release the date.
I hope it's soon so this man doesn't have to go without the gem that you are every day.
You know, you are so sarcastic. Can we have
no. Listen to me. I appreciate you setting me straight, Char. Okay? Now that we've gotten past that, can we get back to the show?
Yes, let's get back to the show.
Okay. Thank you, sweetheart.
I wonder how many other people believe that's how you are, Logic. That's hilarious.
Well,
has anyone else told you that? Is that a common thing that people believe?
Not anyone that knows me. Everybody knows how I am. But no, if people hear this and like, oh, I bet he beats women. Okay, well, all right.
I just said it's probably for entertainment. It's probably not really like that. Just like I'm not a lot of ways you guys think I am. Kai knows a lot of ways that I'm like, oh, BJ does too. So, some of it's just we just, make you guys laugh and just whatever, entertainment. I mean, if you know someone, then you know them.
Well, Logic, I think you should stop beating the woman that's locked in your closet right now. Please stop.
She's locked in my closet.
Next question.
So that means that she's living here rent free? No, I don't play like that.
I don't know what I was thinking. I'm so sorry.
Take the mask and take off her mask now. Let her breathe.
What's life like after divorce for men? Logic, you could take that one. You're a man.
Being that he's a man, he's a man.
It would have been good if BJ was here because he's the one who knows the answer to this question.
Well, it usually all depends on certain factors. How long you've been married, if you had a prenup, and if there were children involved. Usually, a man gets screwed badly in family court. I mean, that's typically all I've ever heard. So, if they're talking about in the wake of it, men's world is usually based on a lot of things like, what you've acquired and what kind of money or level that you have. Women take that, through the courts. So a lot of guys, they're kind of starting over, and they're living in a 1-bedroom house, and the woman has the house that he bought, or a 1-bedroom apartment. I'm sorry, and the woman has the house with the kids and all that stuff. So it's usually bleak. Emotionally, I don't know. I think that's different for every guy. It depends on how bad the marriage was, or who was the problem, and that can differ from person to person. But typically, economically, dudes get screwed.
Well, what can they do to not get screwed economically or in dealing with the children, stuff like that?
Well, with children, you're done. Because, again, the odds that the court system is going to award a man custody you have a better chance of the state giving the kids to a guardian than the father. I don't know why that is. In a marriage without kids, I would tell any guy now that's young in my age bracket to not have kids right away. To wait. I would wait a good years. If she's pushing for kids, I don't know. I wouldn't marry her. Getting married, you got to get a prenup. You got to have clear division of property. And, there has to be a lot of things in place for a guy now to get married and to not be at risk of losing it all. So, there's really no incentive for a guy to get married nowadays. None.
That's kind of sad.
Well, let me clarify that.
Well, I guess
married with the state. If you want to do a ceremony on your own, then that's a totally different story. But having the state involved.
Women didn't have a good response to that when we put that question out there. So.
Yep.
I guess that leaks into the next question, which was, what's the best way to have a successful marriage?
Well, see, that's the thing. People keep saying marriage. Are they? If they're saying that, if you're asking what's the best thing to have a successful relationship, then it has to be communication and loyalty to one another. It has to be the not only the knowledge but the willingness to sacrifice for each other, whatever that may be. If you could truly embrace that, then there's not many obstacles that's going to be in your way. But if you also have to be honest. Is your partner somebody who is constantly trying to keep up with the Joneses, and are they always somebody that's worried about what this person over here has or that person over there's got? Trying to do certain things or live certain places because there's a certain level of elite that comes with that, or status. And when you're dealing with all of that nonsense that doesn't mean anything, it's going to add pressure and problems to the relationship. You have to get somebody. Both of you have to be on, in my opinion, would have to be on a wavelength of the only thing that matters is this between me and you, working and doing well. Everything else comes second, including extended family, So
I think another thing is just keeping all your business to yourself, whether good or bad. keeping it to yourself. Don't talk to friends, family about it. I know you're going to feel like you want to talk to people about it, but if you keep your relationship to your relationship, that's the best thing you can do.
You can't share text messages that your significant other sent you to make other people feel better.
You have no idea what the interest rate is in the house. You don't know what we ate for dinner last night or how we made love. That's not what you talk. It's a general text message when you tell someone you love them because you're thinking of them. People do that because they care. That is not what I'm referring to. All the girlfriends involved, and the next thing you know, they're fighting because they're talking too much. That's entirely different. My girlfriends don't know half of what goes on in my relationship at all. They just don't, because I know what type of man I have, and I know what kind of issues I've had in the past with telling people things that in so-called trust, or, you pick and choose your battles, but that's not what she was referring to, smarty pants.
Somebody took something personal.
I was about to say, where did that outburst come from? Like, that came out of left field.
No, he just said, he was referring to, he says even text messages, he was saying me. When you were
true. It's true that you should not share selfies and stuff when you go on vacation, and you shouldn't be, taking pictures of Thanksgiving dinners, putting it on Instagram. Too much.
Okay, I want to say, Shar, seriously. Shar, I'm going to say something seriously, though. Shar and Logic. I know Shar hasn't really been in this kind of lovey-dovey relationship. I want to say before, if ever, and that's no offense, Shar, because I'm going off of your first marriage where he was cheating on you all the time and stuff.
You're right.
So she's in a really good place right now, and she just wants to shout it out to the world. I can completely dig it. However, based on just past experience, women do 100% hate, even on the tiniest thing, like you saying. And I'm not saying this with any disrespect. I'm just telling you or any listener who is in the same situation. Like you saying, he just sent me a text and, oh, my gosh. Well, some woman out there is going to be like that. I wish, and I can't stand her, and I hope her relationship falls apart. Like you're thinking it's just something little that you just shared, but she's now hating on your relationship. So that's why I just suggest, just
get her
don't
life together.
say anything.
You would
think, but that doesn't always happen.
Well, that's too bad.
Yeah.
I'm not have any sorrow for anyone who doesn't care enough about them.
No. You're misunderstanding. I'm not saying you're misunderstanding. I'm not saying feel sorry for the person. I could give a crap what they're feeling. My thing is, I don't want my relationship ruined because somebody is hating on it or putting quote-unquote bad juju out there.
But Kai, none of those people even know my middle name, probably don't even know my last name. They don't know my social. They don't know where I live. They don't really know who I am. So that there's no way to hate on someone, like personally hate on someone that you don't know at all. All you can do is hate in the circles, like people do about celebrities when they talk about them.
Sure, it could be. Listen, you could have somebody in your personal life that you don't know would feel that way about your relationship. That will slowly and very methodically either mess it up or put things in your head or whatever, just because you seem so happy. Misery loves company. There's a lot of girls out there that don't have a man, and once you start bragging and all happy about your situation, you want to tell everything that happens. I've experienced this before with an ex of mine. They then start to, combat your relationship because they are miserable and they don't have anybody and they don't want you to escape over the horizon with your, knight in shining armor. So that's the thing. It doesn't have to be outside people that you don't know. It could be people in your personal life that you would never believe for 1 second would feel some type of way about your happiness.
Well, I agree. That's why people in my personal life don't have a clue about anything. Even my girlfriends tell me, you never return calls. You never want to talk. No one even knows that we found the house. I announced that to the show only because you guys have been following this for a long time. None of my close friends have a clue that we're moving in now. They don't even know we found because I didn't tell them. I just didn't tell them at all. I barely told my son. So I don't have those issues in my personal life at all. I just don't, because I learned over years years, especially so-called best friends. Family. You got to be careful sometimes, too, how much family knows, because family are miserable just like anyone else. But I also find that you kill a lot more bees with honey than vinegar. So every now and again, if you do have a joy, it's great to share something positive with the world, because we all have been through hell in a relationship. We all have been misused, abused, hurt, or something, especially me. I'm no different than anyone else out there. The same people that might be thinking, oh, she's this or that. You know what? I've gone through the same thing you have, sweetheart, the same type of abuse or hurt or whatever it is. So I'm not perfect by any means. And it was a long road getting to this anyway. It was a long time. I deserve it after everybody does. Everyone should find a light at the end of the tunnel at some point of their life. No one should be miserable all the time. No one should always be making the worst choices and never finding the right person, because there's someone for everyone. But a lot of women,
listen to me. That's the kind of statements that I'm talking about that will breed contempt. When you say stuff like that, there's somebody out there that's going to take that personal, and they're not going to like it. That's all I'm saying.
How can they take it
I don't want to debate with you.
But I'm asking you a question. How can they take it personal when I just said that I went through exactly the same thing? So it's not like my life's perfect.
Listen, Oprah was broke, and Oprah was broke. She got molested. She went through a lot of stuff. There's a lot of black women out there that hate Oprah because they feel like, she ain't, blah, 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 blah. She's been through it all, but she ain't there no more. She's a billionaire now. So it doesn't matter where you've been or, what you've done.
Well,
the bottom line is there's a certain way that you... All right, I don't have that energy.
You made your point before, but I'm telling you.
No, I'm not. I don't feel good. I'm sick. I don't have energy. Let's just move on.
Still proving your point. Why? I don't know. It's pointless.
Well, if there are listeners out there who understand where I'm coming from or where the logic is coming from, then,
And that understand where I'm coming from, where all I said was...
I'm going to tell you this. I'll say this. I'll say this and we'll wrap it up. I'll say this.
Share something
when men get in a good relationship after a certain age, they tend not to be talking to their boys about it, because they know that sometimes dudes, when they get to a certain age, they start feeling some type of way and getting desperate or whatever. And a lot of dudes start becoming more and more private with their personal life. When they're young, they may share a lot. When they're getting older, it takes a totally different tone, because it's much more important, and they realize how fragile it is. So
maybe that's why my friends don't have a clue about things that happen with me in my personal life. If I have an argument with my fiance, they don't have any idea. He could get pissed off and move out the house, and they would never know. Because as you get older, you make these choices because you don't need to bring other people into it. But I'm on an entertainment reality show, so get over it, Logic. That's what we do. We entertain people, and relationship topics are some of our best topics. And I'm in fun just like other people are.
This is not bothering me. I'm just telling you that you're at an age that you should understand. Scale it back a little bit. That's all I'm saying.
Don't go with it. I mean, wow.
Are we good now? Can we move on to the next question?
Please.
We could have been moved on. I don't even know why we're still talking about this.
I don't either.
Question.
I have no clue.
All right, so I guess, Logic, you actually answered the next question, which is, are you afraid of marriage and why? You answered it from a guy's standpoint, because you basically get everything taken away from you. Nobody treats the guy fairly in the divorce or anything. So you basically answered that. As far as a woman being afraid of marriage, the only reason I was afraid of marriage was because I didn't want to be a statistic. I didn't want to get a divorce. And as much as you would like to work on a marriage, you never know if the other person will work on a marriage with you. So that was my only fear of getting married. I just didn't want to end up being a divorced statistic, which I ended up doing anyway. But that was my only fear. Shar, have you ever been afraid of getting married? Char?
I'm sorry, guys. I apologize. Sorry.
Good God.
No, but Kai, like you, I
Next.
was a divorce statistic, so that was my problem. I was a divorce statistic before, and I think I just don't focus so much on, I don't want to divorce with a child and have to raise him alone, but as far as getting the marriage thing itself, I couldn't wait to do it. Didn't regret that I actually did it because I loved being married, and I'll love being married again. I don't have any problem with it. I think it's a great institution if you have the right person. So.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If you have the right person.
Right.
So next question. Okay. This question says, how do I get my wife to sleep with another guy?
No wonder you laughed at that. Oh, my gosh. Where do we get these questions? Where do we find these people? Oh, where they find us. Whew, that's a doozy. Oh, my gosh. Wow.
So, logic?
Sleep with another woman.
No, he's saying when, how to get her to.
Yeah, but he's saying that's how you would get her to sleep with another guy. Is if you cheat first, she'll retaliate.
Right, she'll retaliate, right? Because most people can dish it out but can't take it. So when he sees her doing it, well, it's sick anyway. What kind of relationship do you have? Well, no, he said wife. What kind of marriage do you have? That's really scary. And
oh
I'll have
my
something
God.
else to think about.
So we have like 8 minutes left. I think this question, I don't know. Ask her how to sleep with another guy. See if she's even interested. Other than that, I guess take Logic's advice and sleep with another guy. Then she'll retaliate, but then your relationship is ruined. If that's just a fantasy for you, tell your wife that's your fantasy, and see how she reacts to it. If she wants to do it, if she doesn't want to do it, then you got to take it from there. But I want to point this out. All right, so this girl, Camila Cabello, I don't know what her name is. She was at the Grammys apparently, and she said, tonight in this room full of dreamers, I can't speak. We remember that this country was built by dreamers for dreamers, tracing the American dream. So, a bunch of people started going off like, the dreamers were legal though. We built it with legals and all this other stuff. So one person said something like that. So I said, I responded to the person saying, legals? Do you mean like the slaves that were brought here? Because America was actually built by slaves. So actually while I'm on the show, and this is actually on our Instagram, our No Conduct Radio Instagram. It's actually while I'm on the show, I'm getting messages from other places. And, what came through was they responded to me and said, slaves built some structures and a lot of railroads, but we can't say they built this country. There are so many other immigrants pouring in from overseas and our neighbors that came to work. So,
who said this?
Do people not know history?
Right.
I'm just wondering. It was somebody on our No Conduct Radio Instagram. So I'm just really wondering, do people not know history?
No, they don't. I'm going to tell you right now, they don't. People don't have no idea that this country was even in the position it was economically because of free labor of people that they had this just put in a designation of you're going to work until you die, and any and all children you have are immediately in bondage, and they have to work until they die or whatever. Thing had never happened before in history. As much as people want to say something about, the Israelites and Egypt or whatever, their kids were free. They were slaves. You know what I mean? But their kids, they weren't slaves. So what happened here for hundreds of years was something new, something very ugly and different. But you would have to acknowledge that.
Like somebody was telling me that they told me don't be angry, and they weren't saying this in a bad way. They were saying don't be angry with what she said, the Camilla girl, because this is just the young generation who don't know or don't want to know anything about history. So they're just, speaking out their ass.
Why can't you be angry about that? Why can't you be angry about this generation?
Because basically they were saying it's just a waste of my time to be angry.
I mean, a waste it may be, but it still is something to be annoyed with, that these don't know anything about history, about who they are, where they come from, and the predicament that they're in, whether or not they realize it. This is the richest country because of a direct result of slavery. When you got free labor, so the only thing that you're actually have to worry about is your profit margin, which was the biggest things was cotton, sugar, and tea. That's what was being planned. Later on tobacco and stuff like that. But those were the biggest things. Those were the biggest commodities that were sought after in the times. So if you're making money hand over fist, like, do people think it's just a coincidence that 13 colonies were able to not only match but repel the British Empire that had been established for hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of years, colonizing all over the place? It's not a coincidence that these colonies here were able to hold them off unless they had an absorbent amount of money and they had the same access to the same technology because they were flush with cash. I don't understand how that's something that people really can't put together. It wasn't because Italians and Irish people came over and wanted to start working, because most of them that came over were penniless. They were broke. So, again, where's that extra money coming from? Slavery. You had a built-in worker.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah. I mean, I really can't, and I know, Logic, you're not going to agree with me, but I really can't blame them because it's not technically part of their direct history, and they actually glaze over slavery in school. So, they just go by, like, if she's Mexican, for instance, she just goes by her Mexican history.
I don't blame the children themselves. I blame the parents that are raising them, who are just like the parents in the city. They're counting on the school to teach them properly. These schools are not going to teach them properly. They have a curriculum that they follow, and that's it. So if you are worried about your kids having the true understanding of what it means to be a Native American, or what it means to be a black person, or what it means to be a Mexican, Cuban, wherever you come from, it's up to you to teach them. This educational system here is not going to teach them anything. Period. It's not going to happen. So.
Yeah, I agree. So, on that sober note, next week we're actually going to continue on with BJ's discussion about, the woman who had no responsibilities at 40 and she still lived in her mom's house, and then Shar was pointing out that maybe that was her goal, was to get a husband or whatever. We're also going to discuss, with this whole feminist movement, why aren't women who want to be on the same level as men, why aren't they ever infuriated at, like, a small amount of clothes they're always expected to wear on TV, or they're shown in on TV, versus guys? Because guys are always in, like, long pants, long shirt, completely covered, and then a woman will be in a bikini, for instance.
Right.
Why doesn't that infuriate women? So we're going to discuss that. Plus, we're going to have new music on the show next week, right here on No Conduct Radio, Thursdays at 6 p.m. Eastern Time. Thank you for joining us tonight. Keep sending in your relationship questions, and we will keep answering it. Peace out, everyone.
Have a great week, Logic. Have a wonderful evening.
Logic, let her out of the closet. I'm telling you.
Take the tape off her mouth, Logic. Let her breathe now. Have a good time. Get better.